Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 10 Things You Didn't Know About Blackout, the series where we dive in deep and look at things that wouldn't normally happen within the game, but look at the little details to discover some things you may not have known about the game. And of course, with the recent release of Alcatraz, we are going to be looking at a couple of things there, and specifically the EMP Grenade and Sparrow, as recently they have been added into Blackout. Now on top of that, I always take some viewer suggested ideas as to what to test out within Blackout and Black Ops 4, so if you have anything you would like me to test out in the future, feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and maybe your comment will get featured on a future video. On top of that, if you do enjoy these type of videos, you want to see more of them, the best way to show me is by simply hitting that like button, as that shows me that you enjoy this type of video, and therefore I will make more of these types of videos. Now on top of that, tonight at around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be streaming over on Twitch. My Twitch will be the first link down in the description, and as always, we will be doing an open lobby. So if you've ever wanted to play some Black Ops 4 with me, or you just want to check out the live stream, it'll be the first link down in the description, and hopefully I see you there around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, as far as things we've tested out this week, I wanted to dig into Alcatraz a lot more, look for Easter eggs and that kind of thing. However, there isn't currently custom games on Alcatraz, so it makes it a lot more difficult for that. However, there are a couple things I wanted to tell you about. First of all, the Blundergat. So the Blundergat is the new weapon in Blackout. It is only available on the Alcatraz map, and I put it in one of my previous videos, and a lot of people ask what is the best way to get it, and it's actually relatively simple. A lot of you may have already got it, but all you have to do is go to a location where zombies are spawning, so simply look for that light that's in the air and kill all of the zombies. When you kill all of the zombies, it'll unlock the mystery box, and in every single mystery box that I have unlocked on Alcatraz, there has been a Blundergat. So it's relatively easy to get, and I do have to say, I don't think it's much better than a MOG. It deals a little bit more damage. However, I still prefer the MOG as its reload time and follow-up time for a shot is a lot quicker, but it is cool to unlock. It's fun to use, so that is how you unlock it. Now, the only other thing I got for you here is Brutus. Now, if you're a zombies player, you 100% already know this, but as far as the Warden is a playable character within Blackout, and if you never played zombies or don't know much about zombies, you may not have known that Brutus, or the Warden, was actually a prison guard for Alcatraz. So if you actually go and look at his chest, he's actually wearing a badge that actually says Alcatraz Prison Guard San Francisco, because of course that's where Alcatraz is. So just a little interesting Easter egg on the Warden character in Blackout, and I know a lot of you who play zombies probably already knew this, but this is just for the few people who didn't know it. Now, getting into the more in-depth things, this is going back to the regular Blackout map. So one thing that we've talked about in the past is mobility. It's a perk that allows you to move quicker, but on top of that, it allows you to fall from any distance and not take any damage. In the last episode, we tested the fact that if you were on an ATV or in another vehicle and you jump out of that vehicle, you take damage. However, once again, with mobility, it actually doesn't work. You still take damage when jumping out of moving vehicles. So the Gaming Revolution asked, what if you had mobility and jumped out of a helicopter when you're extremely high in the air? So that we can't really test, because what happens in that situation is you immediately pull out your wingsuit and you are fine. So obviously you don't take any damage there, therefore mobility wouldn't make any difference. However, there is another situation similar to this that we can test. What if you're in an ATV or you're in another vehicle and you jump off a high ledge or a building and then jump out of the vehicle? What happens in that case? And once again, this is a little bit difficult to test, because if you're too high, you automatically still pull out your wingsuit. So it's kind of hard to test, but as it turns out, if you jump out at the proper time, you can actually take damage while jumping out of a vehicle. However, in this case, if you do this, and you have mobility on, you don't take any damage. So if it's just out of a regular moving vehicle, you do take damage, but if the vehicle's in the air, you don't take damage. Just really weird interaction, but that's how it works. So the next thing I wanted to look into how exactly it works is the EMP Grenade, and there's a bunch of stuff that I wanted to test here, but first you have to understand how the EMP Grenade actually works. There's two main things that it does. The first of which is it disables equipment. So for example, in this clip here, you're watching one EMP Grenade take out a barbed wire, mesh mine, sensor dart, RC car, and on top of that, a barricade. Now, the one interesting thing about a barricade is in multiplayer, it actually stays alive for a while after it's been hit by the EMP grenade. In Blackout, it is destroyed almost instantly. On top of that, after knowing that it destroyed all these pieces of equipment, how big is the radius? So first of all, EMPs work through walls. So if you throw it against a wall and there's something on the other side of the wall, it will destroy what's ever on the other side of the wall. But what is the radius of this EMP grenade? So what we did was line up a bunch of mesh mines in a row and see what ones it destroyed and what ones it did not. And as you can see, that third mesh mine there is about the maximum radius of an EMP grenade. So it isn't nearly as big as it is in multiplayer, but it's still quite a large radius. Now, the second main use of an EMP grenade is to disable vehicles, and essentially the way that this works is if you're driving a vehicle and someone throws an EMP at you, the engine of your vehicle dies. Now, if you're one of the people like me and like to know in-game stats, your engine dies for exactly 6.5 seconds, which is by far enough time to kill you because your vehicle won't be moving. So if it happens to you, I recommend getting out and trying to get into a gunfight, but hey, that's just me. And yes, I did test it out. I tried every different vehicle in the game, and every single one of them gets disabled for the exact same amount of time, 6.5 seconds. As you can see from this clip here, I throw it at all 4 vehicles, and all 4 of them get brought back to normal at exactly 6.5 seconds. Now, another little interesting bit of information about the EMP is if we go to the back of the vehicles, every single one of the vehicles still has their brake lights on. In other words, you can tell that they have been used, except for the helicopter. The helicopter is a little bit different. As you can see here, there's a flashing red light at the tail that even when someone gets out of the helicopter, it still continues to flash. However, once it was hit with the EMP grenade, this light no longer was flashing. But speaking of helicopters, are you able to use an EMP grenade to disable a helicopter that's in the air? The answer is kind of. The helicopter has to be flying pretty damn close to the ground because even if you throw this thing right up in the air, it won't explode until it actually hits the ground. However, if you do hit the helicopter with the EMP grenade, it does not kill the person that is flying it. All it does is slowly floats to the ground and lands safely. So unfortunately, no interesting plays you can do with it there. The next question was, does reinforce protect you against the EMP grenade? So if you regularly just get hit with an EMP grenade while you're doing nothing, your HUD will be disabled for a very short period of time. However, if you have reinforced equipped, nothing happens to you. The EMP literally does nothing to you, which I found pretty interesting. So it is a counter to the EMP grenade. However, if you're using reinforced and driving a vehicle, your vehicle will still be disabled even though you have reinforced on. Up next, the Sparrow. Now, if you haven't got the Sparrow in Blackout, it is ridiculously good, borderline very overpowered, and there's a couple of things that I wanted to test it up against, which was specifically vehicles. Of course, it was hard to come across this as we could only find it in supply drops. So once we did find it, there were 2 things I wanted to test it against: the cargo truck and the helicopter. So to destroy the cargo truck, it's going to take you 3 bolts from the Sparrow. However, you'll probably kill your enemy before that, as most of the damage gets transferred to the enemy. As you're going to see, when we compare this to the helicopter will get destroyed in 2 bolts, and it will also kill people in 2 shots as well. In fact, the person who was inside this vehicle only had 150 health and no armor, which means that you can survive a shot to the helicopter. However, as soon as you get hit, you're probably going to want to dive out of that thing. Compared to other vehicles, I didn't test it out here in this video, but I've seen it on YouTube videos. If you're in an ATV or a car and you have low armor, you're probably going to get killed. If you have like a level 2 or a level 3 armor and it hits the vehicle and maybe you have 200 health, you might survive. That being said, the Sparrow is incredibly good at getting one-shot kills against people, and its blast radius is quite large. I would have to say it's probably the best specialist weapon currently in Blackout. So if you see someone with it, you might want to stay away. But ladies and gentlemen, that is 10 things you probably didn't know about Blackout. If there is anything, like I said before, that you would want me to test in a future video, all you got to do is let me know down in the comment section below, and maybe your comment will get featured on a future episode. Now, as of right now, Alcatraz is not in custom games, but if it does become part of custom games, I will definitely be looking around that map, trying to find some cool stuff for you guys as well. On top of that, if you guys do enjoy these type of videos, you like the 10 things series, and want to see it continue, the best way to show me is by simply hitting that like button, as it shows me you enjoy the video and I'm more apt to make more videos like this. On top of that, guys, if you like what you see here and you're not already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on, as it is the best way to stay up to date on all of my videos. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.